All right, I'm Mike Willis. We've got another Team USA Tuesday here. I'm joined by national team member Macey Kilty. Macey had an awesome weekend and won junior titles and U23 title. How are you doing, Macey?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming on today. I've got a list of questions here for you. Are you ready to jump into it?
Ready.
Yeah, let's do it. What is your favorite movie?
Probably The Blind Side.
That's a good one. Favorite musical artist?
I've been into country, so probably like Kenny Chesney or someone like that.
Gotcha. Do you warm up listening to music, or are you a no music type of person?
I'm a no music type of person right now. I mean, I tried it out a little bit at my flow card match, but I think I'm more of a no music right before my match type of person.
Gotcha. What about in the practice room? Is country still your go-to there?
Oh yeah, country for sure. Yeah.
What is your favorite food? And maybe what's your favorite food when you can eat anything you want? And then what's your favorite food when you're trying to like maintain your weight?
So when I'm not watching my weight, it's usually probably like pasta or something like that. And then when I am watching my weight, I always have eggs. So if you talk to Jess Scott, she buys a lot of eggs here. So
What's your favorite way to have an egg? Scrambled, over easy? Like what's your go-to?
I usually just scramble them up and then throw some cheese in there and some vegetables and color good.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Classic. How about pasta? Is it like meatballs, or is it white sauce, or what's the move?
Usually just red sauce. So my aunt makes this really good pasta, and my mom's got it down to when I come home. Usually that's like one of the meals we always have. So that's like my go-to. But yeah, like red pastas, really anything. I really love pasta.
Yeah, you can't beat mom's cooking.
No.
What is your favorite sport to watch other than wrestling?
Probably say football.
Football. Do you have a team?
Go Pack, go Packers. Yeah.
Should have known that one.
Yeah.
Who was on? Max Nowry was on last week, and he's also a Wisconsin guy, and he did not like the Packers. So that was or no, it wasn't Nowry. Sorry, it was Brady Koontz.
Yeah, Brady.
Like an Greco guy.
Wonder who he likes. Yeah. No.
He's a Colts fan, I think. But that must have been tough growing up in Wisconsin and not being a Packers fan.
Oh yeah.
Did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah, so I played like softball till I was a freshman in high school, and then I played football till I was a freshman in high school. But more so like softball, I was on like traveling teams and stuff like that. But once I was a freshman in high school, I kind of chose wrestling was going to be my sport, so I devoted all my time to that. But yeah, football and softball growing up.
What position did you play in football?
So when I was little, I liked to like run the ball, of course, and stuff like that. But as I got older, they got bigger, and I was like a little afraid to run the ball. So I ended up being quarterback for like my last couple of years. So I was protected a little more. But yeah, I had to give that up freshman year because they were just really big.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was still like a 106 pounder, so I was tiny.
Yeah. What was it like being a quarterback on, I'm assuming like a pretty much all boys football team?
Yeah. I mean, where I came from, football was like pretty much wrestling and football were like pretty big. Like you grew up going through the wrestling program, grew up going through the football program. So at the time, like most of my friends were guys and stuff. So like I kind of fit right in. But like, yeah, I mean, I didn't really see it as anything different till like I quit doing it, and I was like, yeah, that was kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a unique experience. That's pretty cool. So who is your favorite wrestler to watch, either past or present?
Oh man, I really like. I don't know. I'd probably say John Smith growing up. I always looked up to him. I mean, he's like the go to wrestling, but yeah, I'd probably say John Smith.
Yeah, I'd say that's a safe pick, but
Mhm.
definitely understandable. I mean, he is 6 for 6. You can't really beat that.
No, he's the goat.
You can be funny or you can be serious with this one, but what is your biggest fear?
Mm. Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big snake person, so that kind of stuff. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, snakes is a fair answer. That's a reasonable one.
Yeah.
What are some of your hobbies outside of wrestling?
I mean, I like when I'm home, I like being outdoors. My family has a lot of land, so I grew up like hunting and stuff like that. So just being outside in general, being in the woods. I mean, hunting, fishing. I haven't done that in a while, but those are fun. I mean, really anything outdoorsy. When I was in Colorado, like a lot of hiking, stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, probably just like hanging out with friends, hanging out with my family, stuff like that.
So you're in the middle of your wrestling career. Really, you're at the beginning of your senior wrestling career right now. But once you're done competing, do you know what you want to do?
I'm hoping to get a good coaching job or something like that. I'd like to continue to help wrestling grow and stay in the sport. Just have a different role, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you first get involved in wrestling?
When I was like 4 or 5, I have a brother that's 1 year younger than me, and he went out for wrestling. And our school is like known for, like I said, like everyone went through the wrestling program. Even if you ended up transitioning to like basketball or something, everyone just kind of did it. And so my brother did it, and I would always come to practices and watch. And there were some other girls running around, and I asked my dad, I was like, can I go out there? And he was like, no, like kind of like it's a boy sport, you know. And then as my brother kept doing it, I kept asking, and then he's like, because there was other girls, and I was like why can't I? And then he ended up letting me, and then ever since I stuck with it. So
Once you started wrestling, was it like a pretty quick transition for your dad to get on board with it and be like, okay, like she's doing this and she's pretty good?
yeah, he just like it was that initial. He was like, you know, like you never heard of like girls wrestling, maybe here and there. So he was kind of probably just like, nah, like you'll wait. Like, and he's a girl dad, so he probably just didn't want me getting hurt and stuff like that. But yeah, he fully supports it.
So you're currently at North Carolina. You've got a heck of a room to train in. You've got Olympic champ Kenny Monday, Olympic medalist Coleman Scott, and Jameel Kelly. What brought you down to North Carolina, and how did that whole training situation work itself out and occur?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I want to say, I got asked to go to Senior Worlds as a training partner, and Coleman Scott was one of the coaches as well. And so I was like doing the training camp with the girls, helping them out, and in between workouts, like of course, like I was there to be a training partner, so I was there, whatever the girls needed, like I was there for. But in between, I would grab Coleman and we'd work out, and I'd work on like my stuff. And I mean, ever since then, I built like a really good relationship with him, and came down like a couple months. I think it was like December to train, and ever since then, I really liked it. So ever since I got asked to go to Senior Worlds, never would have thought I would have built a relationship there. But yeah,
What do you think you've improved on most since moving to that room?
man, I mean, you're just surrounded by people that are like-minded. So um, I've always had like a great training situation, but now I'm around people that have already accomplished things that I want to accomplish. So just having people around, like I said, that are like-minded and that I can ask questions about things that I'm going through and that they've already gone through. So I think that's the biggest thing.
So in your post junior title interview over the weekend, you said that one thing that was like maybe a little like that you were working on was implementing other people's styles into your style, but you realized maybe you were getting a little bit too far away from Macey Kilty style. What is Macey Kilty style? Like, what is your style of wrestling? And then what have you been able to add to it additionally?
Mm. Yeah, so when I think of when I'm like on point and I'm wrestling, my wrestling style is I have a ton of pressure. I put a ton of pressure on my opponents. I'm able to get to my attacks from my pressure, like getting to like my re-attacks and stuff like that. Getting like moving my hands and feet all at the same time, like just stuff like that. Getting from takedown to turn. That's when I'm on point, and I think that's my wrestling style. Whereas like Coleman, for example, he's an outside wrestler. He's gonna be taking fakes and shots from the outside, doesn't really tie up that much. Whereas I feel like I need to be hands-on, be more like I want to like break my opponent. Like that's my mindset. Like I don't think anyone should be able to go 6 minutes with me with my pace and stuff. So uh, I mean, I guess that's my wrestling style. I think when I'm fully focused for all 6 minutes.
Gotcha. What you know when you are being coached by somebody with a different style than you, like Coleman, for example, how do you take some of the stuff that he's good at or teaching and translate it into what you do and kind of work it into your game plan?
Like you got a hand fight to get to your attacks, so that's always going to be the same. I mean, I still have to have attacks from the outside, so I still got to know how to wrestle so from the outside. So like that stuff, and then like from parterre, like leg laces. Coleman was always good at leg laces, and that's important at a high level is being able to get a takedown and a turn rather than just a takedown. 4-point lead than a 2-point lead is a big difference when it comes down to those big matches. So stuff like that, turns on top, defending, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot you can implement even if they're not like fully your style, I feel like.
Yeah. So in Iowa last month, you finished runner up at senior nationals. It's a good tournament, and then a tough finals match with Jennifer Page. What did you improve on the most and kind of work on between senior nationals and junior and U23s this weekend?
I'd say definitely finishing my sweep, being able to finish that from however they react, however they're going to defend it. Being able to shelf the leg or circle behind right away, that was a big improvement from this weekend. Right away off the whistle, just creating that pressure right away and getting to my attacks. And sometimes I'll be creating pressure but not able to get to my angles. So that was a big improvement this weekend too. And then just mindset. That's a big thing in the sport, and I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think I did a better job this weekend. So
Where does your mind need to be for these events?
it's got to be on. I mean, it can be the difference from a win and a loss for sure. I mean, I'd even give senior nationals, for example, a thing where my mind wasn't like 100% there, and it's the difference between pulling out that win in the finals and taking a loss. I mean, I'm thankful for the loss. I mean, I've learned a lot from it. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So you're, 19 years old now, and you've already accomplished a lot in this sport, but you haven't reached your ultimate goals of being an Olympic and world champ. But, taking a step back from it, are you able to appreciate, the age group world medals you've won and the fact that you made a senior national team at a young age, which, all that's quite an accomplishment. I guess what I'm getting at is are you able to appreciate and be happy about everything you've achieved up in the sport until this point?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm going to be hard on myself no matter what, but I've learned that you got to have those positive thoughts going through your head just as much as those negative, like I was at a point, and still I'll come across my head too, is like during practice, I'll beat up myself and come and be like, all right, you got to write down 10 good things and you can only write down 3 bad things about the practice. And I'll be like, all right, like, I could have picked apart the practice and wrote down 20 bad things and like 3 good things, but you got to change that mindset. And yeah, like there's good, even though you're always going to like nitpick and find the bad stuff. But yeah, I definitely find the age division stuff, it keeps me on track. Like I know that I'm on the right track with those competing at those age level tournaments.
Yeah. So Olympic team trials coming up in April. You're going to be in a tough week. I mean, all the weight classes are tough, but you're going to have people like, Kayla Miracle, world bronze medalist Mallory Velty, Jennifer Page again. What's it going to take for you to come out on top of that tournament?
I think I just got to go in, trust in my training, because I know that I'm doing the right things. And I mean, whoever comes in that day is the best that day is going to be the one that represents 62 kilos at the Olympics. So I think I just got to go out there, wrestle like I know how to, and let the results take care of themselves.
Yeah. What do you think the best advice you've received in your career, or a piece of advice that stands out to you?
I mean, oh, I always thought like when people say you gotta fall in love with the process, I think that's a big thing when it comes to reaching your goals. I mean, if you don't love the process, you're not going to enjoy doing it. You're not going to reach your full potential. So, just loving everything about your training, about the sport. Like it's going to suck sometimes, but ultimately, it's going to pay off in one way or the other. So, yeah, just loving the fight, loving the grind. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. Love what you're doing.
Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out in the sport?
Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta love what you're doing. So, I mean, of course, if you're doing it, you like it. So, I think just giving your full effort to the sport and doing everything you can do in your control, letting the other stuff kind of take care of itself. I mean, you're not granted anything, so I mean, you can work as hard as you can and not get what you want, but yeah, I think just doing what you can control and yeah.
Where do you find your motivation during like your training sessions, like your toughest training sessions, the ones where you got to like dig deep and get in one more rep or one more sprint or one more, live go? What motivates you during those times?
I'd say probably just thinking about my opponents, like knowing that I'm doing more, like knowing that I'm doing that stuff when it hurts, like knowing that it'll pay off in the end when I need that score at the end of a period or something like that. I think that's where I look back to. Or even those times when I didn't get the score at the end and that's what I needed to win. So just thinking about those times that really burned and then fighting through it during practice and stuff like that, because that's where you get that mental edge too.
Yeah. Well, one more question for you, Macey. What is your best wrestling memory to date?
I'd say probably Cadet Worlds in 2018. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was my first world championship, and I thought it was pretty cool that John Smith was one of the coaches he's a volunteer coach, and he was hanging around us all trip, which was really cool to just be around him. And I thought it was really cool. Like the whole trip we were joking around, and like before my match, I was like, or after my match, I was like, I came up and gave him a hug with the flag around me, and I was like, I told you I'd do it, because like we were joking around all. trip about like winning and stuff like that. And he's like, "Yep," you like in his Oklahoma accent, like, "Yep, you told me." Like it was just a cool experience, and of course, like it was my first one, so I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hey Macy, thanks for coming on today and giving us a little bit of insight. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to watching you wrestle again. At the very latest at the Olympic team trials, and hopefully sometime sooner than that.
Mhm. Thank you.
All right, this has been another edition of Team USA Tuesday. I'm Mike Willis for Macey Kilty. Thanks for tuning in.